alphabet. About that long. All right, here we go. There we go. Absolutely get some of these going. Kick it with you. You'll be my American boy. That's what I'm thinking of. There we go. Oh, and it's flooded, so you know what we need? We need some ambiance. There we go. Really want to kick it with you. Do I have the chops? I could do that much. And then I need to figure out what to do about these cards. That works. I had a little bit of a miss. Woo! Okay, no. No. That was bad. I just like whiffed it a little bit.